Hello. Hey, ooh, what's going on, guys? Uh, I just want to make sure everything's going through. I had to adjust some settings to do another different test, and I had to change them back, and it looks like everybody's fine. Uh, can you hear me? Let me also check that. Make sure you can hear me. You can. You should be able to hear me, right? You can hear me. Audio is good. He said, "Heyo, yeah, you guys were saying when's the last thing I live built? Actually, the last thing that I built live for y'all was the Dachshund kit, which is still here, primed, not yet painted. So that's still needs to yet be done. But yeah, that and I think I did the circuit before that. I did the circuit first, and then that was the last thing, about a month ago. So yeah, it's been a little while." That new the new cutting mat brighter than my future. Yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna test, if this cutting mat is better. I like this more for some videos, but like I still have the green one and I have a black one as well too, actually. So I was gonna see which one maybe works best for live streaming. I don't know if white is right, especially because this kit has a lot of white parts. So I don't know if like the white on white was gonna be hard to see. But I was checking and it looks kind of fine. It just looks really blown out, like with the manual for some reason. I don't know why, but the parts look fine when you see them, mostly on camera, right? Just trying to look at it here on my monitor, and it looks fine. My hand kind of helps. Maybe I'll just turn down this light a little bit, maybe. This one here. It's maybe a bit too bright. It looks better, I think. Anyway. This line is kind of closer. So anyway, I think this cutting mat will be fine. But let me know your guys' thoughts. I can switch back to the green, like regarding live streaming anyway. I can switch back to the green one, or maybe use a black one. We'll see. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the HGRXO phones unicorn mode? I don't know what's that mean. What's phone's unicorn mode? I don't know what that's about. What do you think is a good and rewarding real grade? The Sazabi. Because it's quite large. After you build it, it feels quite big. Like, for example, the Tallgeese or the Crossbone are also pretty cool, but they're like a little bit smaller. Tallgeese not as small, but I guess building some, if you wanted to build a real grade and then like have it feel like, well, you really built something substantial after you're done. The new Gundam's big as well too. The Sazabi's bigger. Both are good. What was the name of the game you were streaming last week? B-Mart. That was Genshin Impact that I was streaming last week. I want to do another stream maybe sometime this week. So yeah, if you guys missed that, let me see. I did that only on Twitch because it doesn't really fit so much with my YouTube content, so I didn't want to stream that on YouTube. If like enough people are watching on Twitch and really want to watch on YouTube, then maybe I'll stream it on YouTube as well too. But it's something I'll probably do like once a week, like if that maybe. It's just kind of hard to find the time to do that. I find the time to play a little bit every day, but it's kind of hard to get the stream all set up and play live with you guys, and I need to kind of make a whole thing out of it. It's not like I can just pick it up and play for like 20 minutes here and there. But yeah, so let's see. Did I get my Gundam Hobby Life 18 yet? Silver Maverick? No. Ricardo, not yet. What's your Dream Advances Zeta kit? Dream Advances Zeta kit. The Dandelion would be super cool. I love that design just because it's so unique, like based off of the Marasai kind of. The rosette. That would be really cool. I mean, like the inlay, of course, would be awesome because it'd be huge. I like any of like the big arms units, the Hazel with the big arms, or the TR6 Woundort with like the big arms and big legs. I forget what that one's called. What is it called? Something. Anyway. I like those bigger, crazier ones. If you've not yet really got anything big, like you can make like, if you have like the Hazel Master Grade with the Hurudu and all of that, and like the Advanced Hazel, you can make it pretty big, but it's not like as big as some of the ones are on there. Gail asked, how much of this kit is new? Well, I think there was like one full new runner, and then another 2 runners like that were like pretty small with just a couple of parts. Basically, like the shoulder joints are new, the thigh parts are new, the head is new, parts of the head are new, parts of the body are new. So it doesn't seem like anything really super substantial is that new, but it's like just a few minor things are changed and improved on the kit, basically. So I mean, I can't compare it to the original because I've not built that, but I'm sure it's got some definite improvements. I said the inlay. I can't imagine that even the size of that. Yeah, I mean, if they made an inlay, I mean, they'd have to make it like. They'd have to make it probably in like the HD Mechanics line. It'd be like 1 to 550 scale or something like that. I mean, the HD would be super cool. It'd be huge. I don't know how it compares to the Neo Zeong in size. It's probably somewhere similar, if not maybe a little bit taller than the Neo Zeong, but it's not quite as massive, as far as I know. Still no real Bandai news, Josh. Actually, yeah, later today, that's my plan is to make an actual news video. So you guys can see that soon. That'll be just as usual over there on the USA Gundam TV channel. So you can check that out a little bit later. Anyway, let's get to building on this guy. Feel free to still ask some questions and stuff. And if you guys tag me in your comment if you're asking a question that you'd like me to answer. If you tag me, it's easier for me to pick it out in the chat there. So feel free to do so. But yeah, my thumb, after slicing it while preparing dinner last weekend, is still kind of on the mend. Some of you guys may have noticed that in the last couple of videos this past week. That's number one why there wasn't that many videos this past week, was because I couldn't really build anything. So I took the opportunity to kind of just do some other things. I showed you guys some of the recent stuff that I've painted, and I did a couple of book reviews. But I wasn't able to build anything last week, and even last night, working on preparing all these parts, it was kind of uncomfortable. Like, I got a bunch of super glue on there because basically I cut off a slice of the end of my thumb there, but like it's like a flap still hanging on. So in order to keep it down, because it kept wanting to peel up, so in order to keep it down, I just put some super glue on it, on the end of it, just like to keep the end of it down, stuck. But I was able to get through preparing all these parts for today last night, so I think I'm good to go. So this week I should be able to build a lot more, and that's my plan. Just build a lot of stuff this week. And so there'll probably be 1 or 2 more live streams with you guys later on this week after today. Let's see, this side should go to the front. Build the HG CE Dagger L. It looks like the Nemo. I don't plan on building that kit just because I don't really like the design at all. I'm sorry to say, but I mean, I'm sure that it's gonna be a fine kit. Just because it looks very similar to the Windam, which was a great kit. So yeah, if it's anything like that, yeah, it's one of those ones where I don't feel like I need, like for some kits I feel like I need to build it to really assess like how much I really like the kit or how good the kit really is, in my opinion. But that's one of those ones where I don't necessarily need to build it to know exactly what it's like. what's that? Have you seen the Umi model girl? I'm not sure which one's that. Doesn't ring a bell, but I probably have. What are those polycaps? Yes, it does have some polycaps. They're in like a kind of molded, kind of yellowish, mustardy yellow kind of color. Seems like it's kind of meant to look sort of gold, but not really. It's based on the HGC Strike Gundam. So there's a torso. Pretty simple, not a lot of parts there. The legs have the most amount of parts in them. Like, the body, as you saw there, was relatively simple. The waist is just that. 4 pieces and a few polycaps. This it has some side skirts, but they're attached onto the side of the leg, so I have those separate. OP de Red. Opie de Red. I could be reading that wrong, but over there on Twitch, yeah. Just as I was just saying about he's asking me what happened to my thumb. What happened to my thumb was that I was just cutting some vegetables for dinner last weekend, a week ago, and I was kind of in a hurry. I was cutting too fast and chopped the end of my thumb. So fortunately, it was not bad enough that I actually cut anything off or I needed stitches or anything. I didn't, so just was able to stop the bleeding and just kept a band-aid on it for like the first day. Then just was able to keep a band-aid off of it most of the time for the rest of the time. But yeah, the problem was that, like I said, it's like a flap, so you know, if it gets caught on something, it'll just peel up. So I had to be like really careful reaching my pockets or something like that, not to suddenly have that get peeled up. So a couple times over the past week, I did just throw a band-aid on there again for a little while before I normally I would just super glue it straight away if it was a smaller cut, but this one, because it was quite big, I didn't put super glue on it right away, but just yesterday put some super glue on that. That Japanese model that does those custom Gunpla vids on YouTube. Let me see here. You're talking about Umi model girl. No, really the only Japanese model girl that I know of that I sometimes watch is Abby. That's the only one that I really know, and even then, I've watched a couple of videos, but not that much. Let's see. As someone new to Builder, why do you think? Why do people stock their kits and build them later? Nathan, so you're asking why do people keep a backlog of kits? I don't know. I don't think that it's their intention to keep a backlog of kits. I think it's just that people want to buy kits faster than they're able to build them, which is I understand. That's the reason I have a backlog of kits that are not yet built. I'd love to just sit down and just build them all so that they're all built, but you know, time constraints. So yeah, so then I guess the question would be that if you're not keeping up with building them, then why keep buying them? I don't know. Sometimes there's just a new kit that you want, that you're super excited for, but then you don't actually get a chance to build it straight away, or you come across a kit that you've been wanting for a really good price, it's on sale or something, but I don't know. Yeah, Ricardo, her channel is good, and customs are pretty good. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't watch it a lot, but I like that her channel is like pretty unassuming, you know. It's not trying to be anything super flashy, not trying to be anything like super sexual, or not that like some channels are like sexual, but you know, like not using the fact that she's female as like a tool for gaining views. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but for my viewing, that just doesn't, I just don't when like that's the gimmick. That's not really just something that's interesting for me to watch, to be honest. So it's just what I like about her channel, that it's not like that. So these thigh parts are new, but I don't really know what's that different about them. I see I have the older thigh parts here, just to compare. Okay, the frame part's kind of different in the thigh. Oops. I think basically to allow a better knee bend. That seems to be the reason for that. New frame part, because the frame part pulls out of there. Still sucks that Bandai won't reissue Amazing Exia MG sooner. See, how long will a P Bandai turn to a regular release? One that doesn't happen, that won't happen. I don't foresee that ever happening. The problem with using these, my green cutting mat is one single huge one, but these white ones, it's two of them put together, so they're always like moving. I had to stick them down or something. Hey Zach, how did you decide if there are any seam lines need to get rid of or keep them on a kit? How do I decide if I want to get rid of a seam line or keep it? Most of the time I would opt to get rid of it. The only time I would choose to keep it is if like I thought turning it into a panel line would like fit with the design. Or if it's something that's like not going to be seen at all. If it's like the top of a shoulder part or something, for example, it's going to be like completely covered by the shoulder armor, then I don't really need to worry too much about that. If that makes sense. So, no. I got some different coffee than usual today, and it's not good. Yuck. That's bad. Nothing worse than bad coffee. Alright. So it's got kind of most of an inner frame on the legs, which is pretty cool. I know a lot of you guys like that. Nothing super complex, it seems like, but it's got kind of most of a frame there. And these parts, which aren't fitting together properly, so it seems like there's probably like just a cut off piece of a nub stuck in there or something. No? Why is that not fitting into there quite right? There's nothing there, so it's kind of weird that doesn't fit together all the way. It's a very slight, like less than 1 millimeter, but like gap that's not pushing into there all the way. That's weird. No music today? Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to connect the music. I had to reconnect that, and I forgot. Actually, I have new music, but I don't have it set up yet. I need to do that, so I'll try to have the new music set up for you guys before the next live stream, because I know I've been using the same music forever. So apologies for that, but someone reached out to me who makes music and offered to let me use their music, so, and it's pretty cool. So I will get that set up before the next live stream. Sorry guys. A revived version of the HTC Gelgoog would be cool. No, yeah, I agree. HTC Gelgoog, not that bad, but yeah, could certainly use a new kit. Alright, we got some piping parts we have to do here. So I think we have to use this larger gauge one. And we gotta cut a couple pieces of this, right? 2 of them? Yeah. So these are piping parts that go in the back of the leg. One. Might as well just cut all 4 pieces now while we're here. Two. Three. There we go. I would love a cheaper and more accessible MG GM kits. Yeah, I mean, pretty much any of the, like, if you're talking like just standard GM kits, they should be doing alright. I mean, as far as like the price of them. House of Hain House that I'm doing, yeah, it's doing okay. It's still, if I accidentally hit it on something, it'll hurt, but it's not in the way anyway. So these piping bits, I think I might need tweezers to get these in here, but let's see if I can do it by hand. I need tweezers. Have to get them up and in there like that. These are pretty nice, and they're gonna look cool on a painted kit. Yep, there we go. It definitely can't be too long though, because yeah, I cut that one just slightly a little bit too long, it looks like, so it's got kind of a little bit of a, it could be, if I kind of move it wrong, could get like a little bit of a kink in that. But anyway, there's those parts in there. Let's see. Floros is supposed to be the next IBO MG, but I doubt we shall get it sooner than not. But we are assuming that Gushan Rebake is going to be the next IBO MG. Wait, so what are you saying? That Floros is going to be the next MG or Barbatos Rebook? I mean, either one I could see happening, yeah. Let's see. You move this back and put on this kind of piston part. Which one? The smaller one? Yeah. Like this. Goes around in here on the back. Hold on. There we go. Like that. Cool kind of piston detail there. And move that back down. Hey? Wait a minute. Okay. And let's see. Weird. Which part's got this a little piston part that goes there, and these couple of parts that need to go together, like that, and like that, and those go on the inside of this leg part. Here. So this is going to have like the side of the leg opens up, very similar to the Helldiver, which we just recently reviewed. Kind of interesting coincidence that 2 kits coming out right around the same time have a very similar, very unique design feature to them. Let's see. So 2 will be what? Okay, the kind of tricky. This part, you have to kind of put this piston part here on the leg, like that, and then connect this into here. Interesting. All right. So that's in there. This little knee part goes on there. And push that down. This one here. And I think this is the, I don't know. Got a seam line here on the, kind of a little bit on the front ankle armor there. Seam line on the thigh parts as well there too, sort of. And you can close up the leg. Right. Yes. Okay. Seam line on like the sides of the thighs. This kind of part around the lower part of the thigh, it's one solid piece, and then for the lower leg you have a panel line between the two of those. And the side of the leg opens out like that, which is pretty cool. Got some nice detail on there. It doesn't feel super solid, but I guess that's right. Yeah. Just make sure these parts are pressed together totally. Now then, let's go ahead and pop that on there. Go ahead and pop that beanie back on there. We can make the feet. Let's see, the instructions must be horrible if it's giving you a problem. No, the instructions aren't horrible. It's just a little bit complicated because it's quite unusual. It's not the, it's the, some of the, like especially that parts of the leg, it's quite different kind of leg construction from what I'm normally used to. So. The instructions are not bad, just different, so I have to pay attention. Normally, if it's like a normal HG kit, I could build it, without paying too much attention to the manual. I can kind of just glance, I can see, okay, yes, it's that kind of connection, right? Especially like for any like more modern HGs, they're all pretty similar in the way they go together. You don't need to pay that close attention to the manual, but for this one, I need to see what I'm doing. So that goes in there. For shame that the polycaps aren't neon yellow. I mean, should they be neon yellow? They're like a mustardy yellow. Come on. There we go. And that goes out the back. Our toes are connected onto here. Let's see. I'm not familiar with this kit. Where are they coming from? It's from the L-Gaim series. L-Gaim. I'm not really that familiar with it either. Just know that these kits originally are from... Shit, I threw the runners away. I don't remember offhand. But they're originally from like 20 years ago. And Bandai's kind of re-released them with some updates to the kits. So like it's got some new parts. As I was mentioning before, it's got some new parts in the head, the body, the torso. Like the main parts of the torso are a little bit different. The thighs and the shoulders have a few new parts in there for improved articulation. So it's mostly just kind of like a re-release of some old kits with like a few new parts. So it's sort of like a 1.5 version of them, and I think that's the case for all 4 of the kits that they recently have like re-released, but I don't know. I know that's at least the case for this one. The other ones maybe have less new parts because they're not like the titular robot from the series. They're other kind of supporting characters, if you will, so maybe they didn't get the same amount of love and getting some new parts to them. But I don't know, if you guys know anything more about that, maybe let me know. If the other suits have also a good amount of new parts, or not so much. Are you planning to review the other L-Gaim kits or just one? Oh, okay, Gail. Well, yes, I just answered your question there. Yes. I would love to review the Mark II as well, which came out as a P Bandai kit, which is completely new. But I didn't get my pre-order in for that. The pre-order sold out before I could get my pre-order in for that. So I don't know. We'll see. If I can get my hands on it, I would like to review that one as well too. But as it stands currently, it looks like I may not be getting that one, because I would literally like to compare it to the R3 version, which I reviewed a few months ago. Bandai's larger scale version of that. Let's see. The same designer as 5-Star Stories, yes. You can kind of tell by the designs it's the same designer as 5-Star Stories. They have a kind of very similar vibe to them, right? These ones are not quite as like outlandish designs as the 5-Star Stories ones, but they're still pretty wild, pretty weird. The other kid that I was gonna live build last Monday, that I was unable to, that I was gonna build with you guys, maybe there. It's this Asuka kit, the new figure as Labo. Asuka Shikinami Asuka Langley, or Asuka Soryu Langley. So maybe do that maybe tomorrow or Wednesday or something, I guess, because I'm not gonna like prepare the parts separately like usual, like I normally do for a kit like this. I'll cut out all the parts and take off all the nubs and everything like ahead of time, but for that figure as Labo kit, I probably won't do that. Just kind of do it all at once, because it doesn't have a ton of parts and it's kind of hard to keep those parts organized. Maybe a few of them. It does have a few little parts. I saw this really super nice painted build of that kit already that someone's did on Twitter that I really love, that I really want to copy the color scheme of. So I think I'll do something similar, while not doing an exact copy of that color scheme, but definitely take some inspiration from the one that I saw on Twitter. If you guys follow me on Twitter, then you may have seen that. Basically, he just repainted the suit. Instead of red, it's in white, and it looks really nice. Usually for like anything when you have to cut like little piping bits, or like when you have to cut like the little mesh tubes or something like that for like one of the master grade kits, I always cut it just slightly longer than you need, because you always have extra, so it's not like if you cut it like slightly long then you're gonna run out of material. Bandai always gives you like at least a centimeter more than you need for stuff like that. But In this case, don't cut the tubes any longer than you need, because yeah, they're just the right size to fit in there. So if you cut it any longer, it's not going to fit in there quite right. So make sure you cut it exactly what you need for that. And Danny, thank you for the super chat there. Much appreciation from the States. Your videos have helped a lot during the shutdown last year. I'm glad to hear that. Not glad to hear about the shutdown, of course, but glad to hear that you found the videos helpful. That's good. You know, something good in a bad situation, right? Alright. Piping on an HG kit. Yes, indeed, I know. It's a kind of a, especially for being an old kit, right? It certainly has a bit of a premium feel to it. Because you got like some really nice detailed interior parts, and you got some tubing parts, and you have some more of that like for the weapons that you'll use. And it's got some pretty interesting gimmicks. It certainly feels a bit premium as far as like HG kits go. So yeah, very nice. And yeah, especially considering how old most of the kit is. Just got one of these the other day for something sold. It's not too bad. Yes, I hope they do the other Eva girls in the Labo line. I think that's probably very unlikely, because the Labo line, you know, is pretty limited. They've only put out a few kits in the line so far, so I think probably they'll do one Eva girl, and that's probably all that you should really expect. I doubt that they would do any more. I mean, I could be wrong, who knows, especially with the 4th Eva movie coming out, but I think that's kind of why they did Asuka at this time, but I don't think they'll do more. Could be wrong, but I would love for them to go back to another Gundam character, you know, doing one of the traditional favorites like Sayla or something like that. I think Lala would make for a really nice character, because you can imagine like how they would have to mold Lala's dress. Would make a really good kit for that line, because that line's kind of also kind of all about Bandai kind of showing off what they can do, which they love to take any opportunity to show off what they can do. So I think doing something like a Lala kit would be a really great opportunity for them to just make it look super nice. I could definitely see them going back to like a OG Gundam female character like that, but I don't know, doing one of the newer ones I guess could happen as well too. Another one like Fumina. Love it or hate it. Lacus from Gundam Seed, yeah, that's certainly, I could see them doing that. Yeah, obviously a fan favorite for fans of Gundam Seed. Who else? I don't know. Who else would be F also be another likely candidate for the Figurized Labo line. Gundam wise anyway. Or non-Gundam. I don't know. What's something else that's also like really super popular? Because they've done like Miku. What's the other one? Is Love Live, right? What's something else that's like super popular in Japan? Yeah, Ricardo, I know you'd like Sayla, but I think if they were gonna do like a 0079 Gundam character, yeah, Sayla I'm sure probably like generally more popular, kind of like Amuro. But a lot of people love Char. I think it's kind of like a similar thing like with Lala. And yeah, I just think like to take advantage of kind of what that line is all about, I think Lala would be a better candidate for that. Sumeragi, yes, from Gundam 00, right? Yeah, popular character. They could do like a tiara-eared character from Double O. I could definitely see that happening, even though the line's meant for like female characters. Has it ever been confirmed if tiara-eared is actually female or male? I'm assuming it's just one of those things that like they intentionally leave it like up in the air. But I could definitely see them making a Figurized Labo of that character. Patrick, with the super duper super chat. Patrick, thank you so much, man. What is that all about? Didn't realize your Gundam news video was a joke until the USA Gundam TV live stream. Got my hopes up and shot that down. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, as I said, as you might have heard me talking about with Adam, talking about that, I was feeling bad, like reading the comments. I was really enjoying reading all the comments on that because it was really funny, but at the same time I was feeling bad that so many people thought it was serious, so I was feeling kind of a bit guilty. But yeah, I've seen like a lot of people over the past week, like yourself, also saying like, oh, I watched the video, I was so excited at the time, and then I later realized that it was the first or whatever. Let's see. Ricardo, you're saying that he has no gender. He, in quotation marks, has no gender. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, so I could definitely see them making like a tiara-eared character in the Figurized Labo line and making it like very feminine, right? Yeah. Anyway, Patrick, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the super chat, even though I duped you with that news video. Sorry about that. I hope you were able to get a laugh about it in the end, anyway. Oh no, I forgot to put that part in there, didn't I? And Deandro as well too. Thank you for the super chat as always. After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to shrimp. Appreciate that. And shrimp away. Yes, it's been a little while since I had a live stream, so had a chance to save up. So there's the head. Pretty simple, and like the kind of part which I guess is sort of meant to look like a neck, kind of is like kind of just coming down from the bottom of the face there, sort of. And this one as well too is also using some new parts, but let me pull out the old parts to see what's really all that different about it. Alright, so just the shape of the front of the head is slightly different. The little triangle on the front of there actually looks a little bit more defined on the old piece, actually. The old piece actually looks a little bit sharper. So I don't know, I guess if you prefer that, maybe use the old one. And the old top of the head looks a bit taller. So maybe it's just a very slightly redesigned parts for the front and the top of the head. That's kind of about it. So anyway, simple as that. You did laugh once you came to terms with it. Well, yes, I know it must have been very sad news. It's like I said, that's the sentiment I heard from a lot of people, that they were very sad. Because a lot of the kits that I made up for that announcement were things that a lot of people would want. That was the kind of my whole thinking of, like, when I was trying to think of what kits to put on the list. Number one, things that sounded plausible, so that people would be more likely to believe it, and then also stuff that I know a lot of people have been wanting. So if it's like something that there's already been kind of a lot of talk about amongst people, saying like a lot of people really want this, and a lot of people are expecting this, and that kit is slightly plausible, then that was like a perfect candidate for one of the ones that I chose. I did choose like a couple of odd ones, like the Devil Gundam, for example. HG was one that a lot of people said it made them realize that it was fake because of that. So that's the thing, because I used that, which was kind of a pretty obscure one. But I threw that in there because Bandai does do that. They throw in just like, as far as like the HG line goes, they do like kind of just random stuff. So, but yeah, that was a giveaway for a lot of people, that one. And Josh Street as well, thank you for the super chat there. Your videos are one of the reasons I got back into building Gunpla again after 20 years, but my wallet doesn't thank you. Yes, sorry to your wallet, but I'm sure you're a happier man now that you're back doing Gunpla, right? I'll know better for next year's April Fools. Yeah, well, who knows? The next year I may forget about it altogether. Usually what happens is that I forget April Fools is coming, or like I have no plans to do anything for April Fools. Like I know it's coming, and I'm thinking, I don't feel like doing anything like that. I don't have any good ideas, so I'm just not going to do anything. And even this year too, like right up to the last minute, I wasn't planning on doing something, and then like on like that morning, I thought, okay, I'll do this. This could be fun. So maybe I'll just do that as like a tradition now. And like as every year goes by, fewer and fewer people are going to be fooled because they know it's going to be like a tradition from now on. But there'll still be some people fooled. I think it'll still be fun either way, just to kind of see what I can come up with for new announcements. How realistically I can sell it versus like how outlandish the kits are that I end up choosing. Could be fun. Hey, what's going on, Brian and Travis? If Travis is there with you, Brian, hello too. What's going on? Watch them pump one up. Yeah, that's the interesting thing as well too. Firefly. The interesting thing will be to watch and see if anything that I don't want to say predicted, but anything that I made up does actually end up coming out. I don't think it's going to be the case where like Bandai saw the video and like, oh, that's actually a good idea, we're going to make that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it just could be a coincidence that Bandai ends up making something that was on my list. It could happen. Because like I said, I intentionally chose things that were kind of plausible. So, I mean, you never know. But it would be really funny if right after that, then Bandai did come out with an announcement for like Exo 2.0 or something, for example. Certainly one of the more plausible ones on there. PG Neo's young for the next April Fool's. See, you can't go too crazy with it like that, because then it's just really obviously an April Fool's thing. Or people, even if they're unfamiliar with April Fools in general, they'll still know it's not real. Interesting arms here. That wrist feels very weak. Like the ball barely fits into there. The socket is very like too shallow. That's unfortunate. But there's the arm. So like the forearm moves within this kind of part. See like that there? So you have your elbow bend, and then you have a little bit further bend of just this forearm part. Kind of similar to like the 00 kits have that. Kind of bend in like the middle of the forearm. That's kind of interesting. And it does come with closed fists as well too. Another thing kind of giving this a little bit of a premium feel as far as HG kits goes. It does give you a number of different hand options, which is nice. If Bandai doesn't say this year they're going to make MG Zaku 1 2.0, it would be a good one for a New Year's April Fools. Yeah, that'd be a good one, Josh. Yeah, Zaku 1 2.0. It's another one of those ones where you wonder, why haven't they made that for so long? I would have expected that to come out like 5 years ago. Blink, any more Genshin Impact streams? Yes, I do want to do some more Genshin Impact streams, certainly. In case any of you guys over there on YouTube, in case you missed it, I did, what was it, last week? About a little bit over a week ago. I streamed some Genshin Impact gameplay on Twitch only because it seemed more fitting to just only do that on Twitch rather than YouTube. But if you guys are interested in seeing some more of that, let me know, and that'll certainly motivate me to do it like sooner than later and maybe more frequently. But if it's not something that you're that interested in, then never mind. I'm certainly not very good at streaming video games, I'm sure, as something I just tried for the first time, but I'm enjoying playing the game, so, you know, just playing and hanging out and talking to you guys at the same time is fun. So if you want to see some more of that, let me know. I certainly plan to do some more, but if I know that you guys want to see that, it'll get me to do it sooner than later. The Leo would be natural. It's basically done via the Telgeese. Yes, Leo, Master Grade Leo was one of the ones that I considered. I did think about that as well too, yeah. Let's see, left arm. Still missing the MG Nataku's Telgeese. Let's see. If the L-Gaim series sell well, do you think it'll cause Bandai to finally reconsider an HG Dragon R1? I'm not sure, but I think, you know, that's a good point. It will hopefully maybe get Bandai to reconsider revisiting some of other older HG kits that they've put out, or like kind of similar kind of kits. So I don't know, maybe they'll like revisit their old kit of the O. Oh, the Big O. Sorry, not the O. Big O. That they, you know, put out ages and ages ago. Maybe they'll, you know, revisit that, make a few updates, and kind of re-release that in a similar fashion, or just, you know, other things. So what other ones that they have out there? They have a bunch of stuff that they could do similar to this. Do you think satin top coat would be good for the Fazverka? Yeah, sure. I like satiny, not a super flat matte top coat. So yeah, I kind of like that. Zaku, I would build a Transformer Plamo Thundercracker. Yeah, that's actually one, you know, of those series. What's the company that makes those Transformers kits? I'm drawing a blank at the moment. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. That company that makes those Transformers kits. Yeah, I don't really like Transformers that much, and like most of the designs are just not really that interesting to me. But I've thought about getting one to at least just to try out the line and review one of them. And the Thundercracker is probably the one that I would get. It's the Flame Toys. That's it. Thank you, Haro. That's the one that looks the most cool to me. So yeah, I should try to get my hands on that kit eventually. I've got a lot of stuff here kind of in the queue, so they need to announce a P Bandai second victory already. Are you talking Master Grade, Ricardo? Yeah, that would be nice. Is that when they had that like shadow box with the second V inside of it? I don't remember now. Was that for the HG or for the MG? Because people were able to tell like what scale it was based on the size, and I couldn't remember. I think like some people were saying that it looked big enough in the box that it would be the MG, but then we obviously never got an MG of it. So, you know, it was like at Gundam Base Tokyo, they had the box. Was it the HG? Okay, Forged. I trust Forged would know as well too. So yeah, so that was just for the HG before the P Bandai HG came out. Yeah. Anyway, yes, a Master Grade would of course be very cool for that as well too. Yes, we'd all like that. Sleazy Beezy, what's going on over there on Twitch? Hello. It looked big enough for MG, but we got the HG shortly after. Yes. So here are some of the other hand option parts, like I was talking about, that we've got. So you've got this beam saber handle molded into the hand together, hand part. And you've got this other, this is the handle of the cannon, and like the handle of that's molded together with the hand. Kind of odd. But you got that as a hand option. You also got just a regular hand, like a support hand, open hand for the left side for holding up the massive gun. And then two other just beam saber holding hands, I believe these are for, right? So the beam sabers are stuck in the back of the shield. So a couple of different other kind of utility hands. Very specific in their use, but no like just kind of generic trigger finger hand or anything like that, because this cannon has like a specific handle design. So let's build it. These are also some new parts compared to the original kit. And again, it seems like basically it's just separated for a little bit better color separation. So like for example, this is the new part here. It's like that. Like that, and this is the old part. Old kit. Just all one color. So they kind of reworked the design a little bit, sort of updated the design slightly. It's basically the same, but they made it a little bit better color separated and maybe just updated the details slightly, but not that much different honestly. And it seems like you have kind of most of the parts to make the old version as well here too, it looks like. Let's see. Let's see if we can put that together. I'll see here. Let me put together the new one first. Let me put together the new one first so I can know better what it's supposed to look like. And I'll put together the old one. Zuda F would be so sick. Yeah, yeah, that's a cool design too. I like that one. I don't know why the instructions were so weird about that. Did you ever plug the Victory to Assault Buster beam cannon into the elbow? I don't think so. I think if I remember correctly, that was something that like I didn't figure out whilst I was doing the review, and like someone, maybe it was you or someone else, pointed out to me in the comments later on that you could do that. That yeah, I didn't notice that in the manual. Yeah, so I guess that was maybe not very clear in the manual that you could do that, or it wasn't very obvious to me. But I'm not a huge Victory guy. I think like someone like you, who really loves Victory designs and everything, probably would have just figured that out on your own. But for someone like me, a little bit less familiar with them, I kind of needed to see that clearly in the manual, and I didn't. So. Let's see. Doku, get out of here. Who's Doku? Who's in the chat there? I'm seeing the Twitch chat as well too, but it's all mixed. Oh, Dokudel. Do you guys know each other or something? I thought maybe someone was like spamming in the chat or something, but I'm assuming it's just some ribbing there. So you can choose for like the handle, you can choose between 3 different spots where you want to plug that in, a little bit further, a little bit back, or right in the middle. I'm just going to put it in the little bit back position. But this is where that hand with the handle molded together with the hand would come in. You just could plug this right into here, I guess, right? But no, that doesn't actually fit into there. Does it fit into the old rifle any better? Not really. Oh. That was the other way. Holding it upside down. It goes like that? Okay. Oh yeah, that's better. Like that? Oh yeah. Right. Okay. I was putting it in backwards. Anyway. We're friends of friends out here in the States. I'm also going to be part of PMW. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I've not... I've seen the list of who else is all participating. But a lot of the people on the list are people that I don't really know very well. I know a few people on there. But... yes, if you guys are unfamiliar with that, I'll be participating in that. That's next weekend, right? I want to hear a podcast with you and Kakura. Could be kind of interesting. I'd be open to doing that. He's a cool guy. I've talked with him a little bit before. We talk about like some like Gundam lore stuff. Kind of is his expertise. It's not really my expertise though. So I don't know if that would be very interesting to hear us talking about that. I don't know. These go down like that. But I'd be open to doing that. It'd be fun. Let's see. Between the Mark V Vertex and the Barzam's, P Bandai has taken my budget. Ah, yes, the Mark V. Okay, I was gonna say what's a Mark V Vertex, but there's supposed to be a comma in between there. The Mark V, the Vertex, and the Barzam's. Yes, yes, yes. I get what you mean. Yeah, all of those, all very exciting announcements indeed. I was really surprised. I mean, of course, really surprised about the Mark V, of course. That's surprising. But then the Gelgoog Vertex, yeah, I was very surprised about that one as well too. I wish they would make some more Master Grade Gelgoog variants. They really only kind of made the one. I mean, I'm talking like P Bandai Ace Pilot Log variants. They just made the Uma Lightning's high mobility type, but that's all. So they have the high mobility type molds, and I'm sure, I don't know offhand, but I'm sure there's other Ace pilots who, like in canon, used the high mobility type Gelgoog. Whether it's like Gabby Hazard or something like that, right? One of the other ones. So I wonder why they've not yet made any more of those, which is kind of a shame. So I wonder if maybe the maybe that one didn't sell that well or something, or what. But I'm sure it must have sold fine, because it's been super hard to find after that. I guess they did also have the Gelgoog Cannon. It was also a P Bandai variant, but not like a Ace Pilot Log one, just kind of a generic thing, right? But hopefully they'll make some more Master Grade Gelgoog variants in the future, because the Master Grade is so nice. The HG, you know, it's cool to get variants of the Gelgoog either way, because it's got some cool variants, but the HG just as a base kit is not near as nice as the Master Grade 2.0, obviously. What do you do with all the kits that you build? Rickshaw Jack asked. Most of them just end up just going back in the box and just basically to await being painted or worked on in some way in someday in the future. You know, obviously for most of them that day never comes, but you know, it's wishful thinking that someday I'll get around to painting. And you know, I'm sure as it stands I've already got more kits than I'll ever finish in my lifetime. But oh, I guess there was probably supposed to be a polycap in there to hold. That's weird. I threw that little piece of plastic and I never heard it hit the floor. Should have. To hold in this part. I'm just also kind of off camera here, sorry. I was putting together the old gun to compare them, and the old one needs a polycap in here for the bipod, which I didn't put in because I don't have instructions for it here, obviously, so didn't realize that I need that. The new kit doesn't use that. Doesn't have a polycap for the bipod, it just plugs onto there. So now I can use my part separator. It's a good time to use that. They have to let us know when the RG High New comes out. Hope it's not December. Well, yeah, I would assume we'll probably get some news about that pretty soon. So we have to try to deduce what polycap is in there. It's supposed to be in there. Based on this polycap runner, and then also make sure I'm not using one that is going to be needed for something else later. Nothing, so basically I can take my pick amongst these polycaps. Which one is right? I'm just gonna guess maybe polycap A. Let's see if that fits into there. Does seem to fit, so I'm gonna guess that that's maybe right. And the question is, does it fit here? Yes, it does. It fits, so it sits. Alright, that's the saying with the, like with cats, if it fits, it sits. There you have the bipod, and so this one has just the parts forming bipod for it, the old version. So you have just the stored one, or you take that off and switch it out for the open one, like that. Whereas on the new kit, it's separate. They're on separate little ball joints there, so you move them individually. Which honestly, kind of prefer this one because they're fixed. Because if they're separate pieces, then you kind of have to line them up, and make sure they're lined up right and at the same angle and everything. It's just kind of easier to just swap out the whole piece like that, I would think. But anyway, certainly a lot better color separation with the new version. You have the red piece there on the top and the two-tone colors for like the main body of the, rather than just the one color. So certainly an improvement. I use an X-Acto knife to separate parts during some scrubs. Yes, X-Acto knife I do also use a lot to separate parts, small bits if I can. But you do certainly run a higher risk of damaging the parts. So if I can't get it right away with an X-Acto knife, then I'll switch to something else, because if it's difficult, then it's more likely you're gonna mess something up. Sorry if you answered this earlier, just logged on. David, what was your question? Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. Have you seen the anime this is from? It's worth seeking out. No, I've not seen it. And I better watch some clips before the review, because what ends up happening anytime I review something that I'm not familiar with, and I tell you guys in the review that I'm not familiar with it, someone or multiple people will always say, you could have at least watched 5 minutes of the series on YouTube so you know what you're talking about. So I better do that for this one. Better watch a few YouTube clips before I record the review, so I don't get called out for being a huge dumbass. Oh, super clip in there. Just healed from having my pinky tip cut off. Yep. Did you get tanned? Rodri asked. I was in the sun a lot during the weekend. Yeah, so I got a little bit sunburn actually. Yeah, on my face. Good eyes to see that. Yeah, in my opinion, I think, as far as reviewing the kits go, I don't see the need to really know that much background information behind them. That's not my thing. Or like someone like we're talking about, Kakura, for example. I think his reviews are really good because he has his thing of, giving a lot of background information, which I think is cool for people who want that. If that's something that if you don't really care that much about, then you'd be fine watching my reviews where I don't give that information. But if that's something you want, it's cool that he includes that kind of information in his videos for people who do like to have that background information in there as well too. For me, I'm just reviewing the kit, and the background of, in the anime. I mean, I guess it would be helpful to just have like a knowledge of like what something is necessarily supposed to do. Like if I didn't know, for example, like if this was like a beam saber handle or just like a missile, because it sort of looks like a missile sort of. So if I said, oh, it's got these missiles stored in the back of the shield, yeah, that would be wrong. But at the end of the day, who cares? If you know it's something different, then fine. If I called it the wrong thing, then what does that really matter? That much is how I see it. I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you know the right answer, then that's fine. Good for you. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, certainly there's some people who get their panties in a bunch if I don't have all the information right in my reviews. Yeah. So what are you gonna do? So just about done here. There's the shield, which that's basically it for the shield there, like that, pretty simple. And the backpack goes like that. Backpack also pretty simple. Yeah. This has these like little thin bits that come out to the side there like that. But basically this just will fit straight onto, kind of plugs onto the back of these parts there on his back like that. There you go. Then all these little kind of toothpick looking things here are for your wires. So let me see how how many of us have built Moon, Crossbone, etc. while not seeking out the manga, as long as you know they're big robots? Yeah, that's a good example, certainly. Sure. You should DP it on purpose to cause tism fits. What's to DP it on purpose? I'm guessing you mean anyway. I should just intentionally say a bunch of things wrong about the kit, just to piss off the people who are gonna try to correct me on that. Yeah, that's a good idea. But anytime I try to do something like that just for fun, oh man, that gets people extra upset. There's no fun allowed in this hobby. You guys should know that. I mean, if you don't know that by now, you need to read some more comment sections. Anytime anyone tries to do anything fun or funny or as a joke in this hobby, whew, boy, you're in for it. Call it a gun. I like that. Oh man, that'd be good. Yeah. That's like insult to injury. Not only are you saying Gundam wrong, but you're also harkening back to like a character in Jar Jar that everyone hates. So like it'd be super bad calling it a gun. I like that. That's funny. I gotta do that. Make a video of you trolling on M. Yeah, that'd be good too. It'd be a fun one. That'd be funny. I feel like for Gundam though, it would be too obvious that it's like just a joke. If I do, it has to be on something like this that I'm not familiar with, that I can make like such a horrible mispronunciation and like play it off as like for real and not as a joke. Alright, so let's see. So we're supposed to cut 5 lengths of this tube to 9 centimeters. And this is kind of the last thing that we need here. Go. And you got plenty to spare, so if you wanted to cut these to be a little bit longer, or I don't know, have some extra or whatever, you not use 5 and use 2 or 3 instead of 5. You could have some much longer ones or something, for example, but you got some different ones here to choose from. Have you checked 86 HG model kit? Yes, I do. I plan on reviewing a couple of those. Yeah, like the kind of like tank walker things there from that series. Yes, I will be reviewing. I think there's maybe 4 of those kits coming out. I have 2 different ones coming to me, because a couple of the variants, I mean, they're just kind of very slight variants. They didn't really seem worth reviewing all 4 of them, but 2 of them I will be reviewing. Yeah. The Lonely Kid? What's that on Twitch? What is that on the head? I'm not familiar with what that is. When you get to Ava kits, you should say some fake stuff about Ava though. Yeah, that'd be a good one. mean, if anyone who watches my channel should know that Eva's one of my favorite animes, though. But yeah, I could. Yeah, even for something that's one of my favorites, I could still certainly be wrong about it. So fair enough. All right, let me get this instructions out of the way. Done with that. Thank you very much. The emblems from the shell on the tank are pretty cool. Yeah, they're pretty interesting designs. The 86 kits that we're talking about. Again, I'm totally unfamiliar with the series. Is it a Netflix series as well too, kind of thing? Like sort of similar to Obsolete? Being like an exclusive kind of series, or is it just like a normal thing? I don't know. Just like at first glance, it looks like it's like some kind of exclusive kind of series. That may be why they kind of put the money into making some plastic model kits to just kind of help advertise for the series, basically, as well, to kind of crossover thing, make some money off the kits and help get some more eyes on the series as well too. 86 is a normal series, Boom Cannon says. Okay. I wish there was more Evangelion anime. I don't know. I mean, there might be one of those too much of a good thing kind of cases, because, like, you know, the first half of the original Eva series is very kind of episodic, typical big robot fights big monster kind of thing. It's only kind of like towards the middle of the series that it starts to get more weird, right? Starts to turn into the Eva series we all love. But if they extended the series out, like, too much more of like the psychological stuff, or too much more of the just kind of episodic fighting big monsters stuff, I don't know. I don't know what that really would have added too much to it, like substance wise. So I think it's probably a good balance already as it is, a good amount. Would you recommend the RG kits from Evangelion? Yes. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you to go out and like buy all of them at once. Buy one, because they're all pretty similar. And if you really like it and you want to buy 1 or 2 or 3 or all of them more, you know, then go for it. But because they're all pretty similar, honestly, I don't know how excited I am really about building more of them as they keep coming out. I want to build the Mark 6 because it's a cool design, but like I skipped the Mark 8. What's the pink one? Mark 8 kit, right? I think, right? Because I don't really like the design for one, and for and also already built Unit 0, Unit 1, and Unit 2, so I figured I could probably pass that one. Big Money Collector asks, more Zoids kits down the line. Yes, I don't plan on getting the new Shield Liger that's coming out, but I do still have the Liger Panzer still in my backlog at home that I still need to build, so yeah, I'll probably build that one at some point as well too. For a future Zoids kit. That's the only other one that I have, or even that I have pre-ordered or anything at the moment. The other HMM Zoids kit that I would still like to get would be like the Berserk Führer, or what's the other one? The kind of red version of that. I'm suddenly drawing a blank. Anyway, the other red T-Rex themed Zoids kit. What's that called? They just recently came out with they just kind of recently did a reissue of that kit, I believe, right? Sturm Tyrann, yes, I think that's right, yeah. Or Genobreaker or Sturm Tyrann, both of those sound familiar. One of them, anyway, yes. I wonder how much of an impact the delay for the latest Eva movie had on model kits. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. The Sturm Tyrann releases in July, someone said. No. The Genobreaker was the one that I already reviewed. Right, the black one. Right? I already built and reviewed that one. That was the one I reviewed, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Anyway, the kit's done here, so that's going to be about it for today, guys. Ended up being, it's a pretty fast build. pretty simple kit for the most part, but I mean very very complex, like in the legs especially. The Geno Starter was black. Okay, yes, right. Geno Breaker is different, right? What's better, Evangelion anime or manga? I would say probably the anime. I would assume is probably better. If you really enjoy reading manga and you're not really that into watching anime, then I mean, go for the manga. But I think you get a much fuller experience from the anime, from like the voice acting and all the music and everything is very good in that. So I think you get a more full experience probably. Yeah, no stickers for this. That's right, no stickers. It has polycaps, but not everywhere. It doesn't use a ton of polycaps, really. I mean, we had like more than half that polycap runner was still on there, so you have a lot to throw out. Definitely different. Yeah, so I think I have a couple other kits to build with you guys later this week, but they'll also include the Asuka kit here, and then a couple of P Bandai kits that just recently came in. Just Saturday, I got the HG Gundam, not Mark 5, but the Gundam 05, the red one with the big Gatling gun, and the Extreme Gundam Type Leos. What's that? Extreme Gundam Type Leos something something something. Very long name. Also P Bandai HG kit. So I will surely live build that one because I'm sure a lot of people will want to see that because it's a pretty cool, unique, extreme design. So we'll build that probably later on this week as well too. Anyway, so it'll be very red themed with Asuka and those two HG P Bandai kits also being red. Anything else I have red here that I can build? That may be about it. I don't know if I have anything red around here at the moment, so maybe just the 3 of those. Anyway, alright, yeah. Thanks for hanging out for today, guys, and I'll see you all later. Jason asking, will you build the Gundam 04? I already did build that one. That one came out earlier. The HG kit, anyway. So, yeah. Bye, guys. See you later.